This is Backstage Bay Area, your all-access pass to the local music scene.
You're listening to Backstage Bay Area, your all-access pass to the San Francisco jazz music scene. Today, our guests are trumpeter and composer Anthony Hervey and pianist and composer Sean Mason. The duo is bringing the music of Thelonious Monk and originals to SFJAZZ's intimate Joe Henderson Lab for a pair of shows on October 12th. Anthony and Sean, welcome to Backstage Bay Area.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve, for having us.
Greetings from San Francisco.
Greetings.
For our listeners, can you give us a few quick intros, your name, your instrument, and one line about your musical style as a duo?
My name is Anthony Hervey. As you said, I'm a trumpeter, composer, band leader. I live in New York City. And everything I do musically comes from a place of soul, and it comes from a place of blues. And I'm trying to uplift and inspire people and bring a certain kind of warmth through the music I make, which is why I love making music with Sean.
I'm Sean Mason, and I'm a pianist and composer. And yes, Hervey and I, we bond over making music that makes people feel good, puts that blues into the spirit, makes people clap, stomp their feet, have a good time. And we also like to balance that with a nice little touch of intellect. And we love to kind of balance those two things and create a nice experience of music. So Hervey is great. He's open-minded, he's free, and we just have a good time.
That's great. Fantastic. Anthony, let's talk about your song Do Rag with Sean.
Yeah.
It frames modern ragtime language inside a trumpet piano conversation. It's on your debut, Words from My Horn. What were you reaching for in the writing, and why did a duo feel right for this tune?
So I started writing the song while I was at Juilliard. I got to study with the late, great Phil Schaap at Juilliard. And I remember we were talking about the form of ragtime. And I thought it was an interesting form. You know, you have all these multiple strains, lots of modulations within the music. And so there's a lot of contrast. And I was trying to experiment with form a bit, but I was wondering what would that sound like in a modern context? Because I feel like a lot of people, they'll play earlier music, but they play it in a way that's pastiche and they just kind of regurgitate things that they've heard. But how do you bring that into a space? Because musically, I listen to so many different things. I love early music. I love bebop. I love hard bop. Like, I love blues. Like, there are so many traditions within the music, and I try to embrace all of them. So the song kind of incorporates a lot of ragtime. Of course, it's based off of rag form. It deals with blues. It deals with gospel, and it goes through a range of emotions. And so I remember talking to Sean specifically because I had him in mind as I was writing the piece. And it's also kind of inspired by the Earl Hines Louis Armstrong recording of Weatherbird Rag.
Okay.
That's a song that I studied a lot in terms of figuring out how to write a melody in that style.
All right. Sean, what are your thoughts on this track and working with Anthony?
Yeah, it was so much fun. The title is so funny, Do Rag.
Yeah.
It's like the blackest title you can name a rag. I think Hervey has a do-rag on right now in the video. It's so funny.
I do have a do-rag. I know.
It's a shame we're not doing video. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I just felt I thought the title was very funny. If you know Hervey, you know that he's like a quirky, very funny, humorous guy, and he wrote the music in that way, and the different strains and the way that he dealt with the melodic and harmonic development of the song. I really enjoyed the composition, and so playing it was a lot of fun. And I love ragtime music, and I love all kinds of music, and I see this through line through all the different types of music, especially in the idioms of jazz, from early music all the way to modern jazz today. And I think Hervey and I share that same appreciation for all kinds of music. So I really appreciate that he brought that to the 21st century, and it was an honor to play on that track.
All right. Well, let's listen to it now. This is Sean Mason and Anthony Hervey doing Do Rag. We'll talk about Sean's new single on the other side of this. This is Backstage Bay Area. This is Backstage Bay Area, and we just heard Do Rag, a collaboration by my two guests, Alex Hervey and Sean Mason. Sean, your new single, Open Your Heart, lands a mid-40s radio orchestra melody, and you sneak a quick Blue Monk quote in the double time. What story are you telling with those references in this piece?
It's easy to talk about that in retrospect, but in the moment, you know, we were just having a good time. And I decided to write a ballad, and I decided to name it Open Your Heart, that to me expressed the vulnerability that I think is required to play this music, and the need to be able to tap into your emotions, your emotional intelligence, which isn't talked about much. A lot of what's talked about in music is intellectual intelligence and almost anti-emotional, but really to get to this core of the music, you have to really be in touch with your emotions. And so I wanted a song that basically invited the artist to open your heart, and in turn invited the audience to open their heart as well. And so this was a ballad, and we slipped like a little R&B kind of section in there, which was a lot of fun. And the double time section was so fun. It was unexpected. We didn't plan it. As you can hear on the record, like you could hear Damo's cymbal like preparing to go back to the ballad form. And then I decided, I was like, I'm not done. So I just decided to go double time, and we went double time, and that was so much fun. So the track just captured spontaneity. So it's easy to talk about. I guess I did throw the Blue Monk quote in there, but in the moment I wasn't thinking about it. We were just in the vibe of it. So a lot of fun.
All right. Well, let's talk about the recording of it. You tracked it at Bunker Studios with the band in one room, no charts, teaching by ear. How did that old school process and the piano shape that feel?
Well, that's how I learned music. I learned music in church where there was no sheet music, and you know, you just have to hear the music. And if the singer sings it in a different key, you have to play it in another key. There's no choice. There's no like leaving. Like you can walk out of the church. You have to figure it out. And so growing up with that kind of pressure where there was no music and there was always music being made in the moment, I think I took that to my band leading when I decided to lead a band. So all of the songs, most of the keys that we played those songs in were chosen on the day of the studio recording. All the charts are written after the recording, you know, and it's written after the recording is already recorded. And I basically transcribe myself in what we do, but we don't really have charts. I teach the music by rote and by ear. And I also wanted to record in a way that we can see each other that mimics the live performance. And I hate when I go to the studio and it feels like I'm in this weird foreign place. I want to be as comfortable as I can be when I'm recording music, and my most comfortable setting is on the stage. And so I wanted the recording studio, you know, given the constraints of what we have to do from a sound and acoustic perspective, but I want to be comfortable. And so I feel the most comfortable when I'm close with the band and I'm able to have eye contact with everybody, and I'm not wearing these big things over my ear. Right. And I can play the music authentically.
Wow. So almost like a live recording, right? Yeah.
I think at least my view of the purpose of recording, especially in acoustic jazz, is to capture the essence of the live recording. I mean, I think that's what I love about all of my favorite records, is that it feels live and that you're kind of transported into the time period that it was in. And you just know that it was recorded live, and it's not some artifact that was created in a lab, but it's real human beings being recorded live at a certain period of time.
Yes. Well, let's listen to the track now. It's called Open Your Heart, and talk about your upcoming shows at SFJAZZ on the other side of the song. This is Backstage Bay Area. You're listening to Backstage Bay Area, and we just heard Sean Mason's new single, Open Your Heart. Sean Mason and Anthony Hervey are my guests today. Before we dive into the San Francisco Jazz Center shows inside the Joe Henderson Lab, Anthony, I've got a question for you. I understand that you're doing some teaching in San Francisco at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music in their Roots, Jazz, and American Music program. Tell me, how did that all come about?
Originally, I'm from Miami, Florida. So I know Jason Hainsworth, who's over the program at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. I know him very well, and he's seen my growth over the years from high school all the way through Juilliard and till now.
Uh-huh.
And they were looking for somebody to fill the position. So I love the Bay Area, and I just started working with him this fall. And I work with the trumpet students, the ensembles, and I get to fly out there about once every month to work with the students. And it's an incredible program. Like, the students are super hungry to learn and very humble. So it's been really great working with them so far.
All right. And that's just a couple blocks from SFJAZZ too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Well, let's speaking of SFJAZZ, let's dive into your show coming up on October 12th. The show is billed as Music of Thelonious Monk and your originals. In a duo, how are you approaching Monk's style? And is there any one Monk piece you plan to re-angle for the two voices, your style?
I think Thelonious Monk, he has a lot of beautiful things in his music that you can draw from. So, like, we're going to do probably something like, So, I mean, we might do Monk's Dream. Like, it's pretty open in terms of the repertoire. Sometimes I know Sean and I, we don't always discuss the music. We like to let it unfold in the moment.
Yeah.
So it'll be a surprise. You have to go there to see.
I love a good teaser. Yeah.
We'll also be doing some of his music. We'll be doing some of my music. And we have to do Do-Rag. And then we'll probably also do something to honor San Francisco. That's such a special city. I know both of us have been there many, many times.
So you're playing two shows that evening. Is there anybody else joining you on stage, or just the two of you?
Probably just the two of us. Unless there's a special guest, or if we see somebody in the audience, you never know.
Okay. There's always somebody next door that's going to do shows on minor artillery. You might drag them into the lab. So what can fans look forward to from each set? Will there be any contrast and pacing or spontaneity between the 6 p.m. and the 7:30 sets?
Every time we play a set, both sets are usually a bit different. But I think the special thing about playing with Sean is we have a very strong rapport. We went to Juilliard together. And then during the pandemic, we used to play sessions together in Harlem all the time, just working out all kinds of concepts and things musically. So I think coming to the show is going to be different than a typical show. It's going to be a very raw, kind of intimate performance. It's going to be very casual. Like, we'll be talking to the audience, and it's just the two of us making music, like as if we're in your living room.
All right. Sean, do you have anything to add?
I mean, just to piggyback on that, it's not a standard show where, like, it's very planned out. I think the rapport that Anthony and I have is that we, like, during the pandemic, he would come over to my apartment and we would play duo for so long, for hours at a time and work out stuff. We go way back. And even when I used to have a residency at Mesville Jazz Club and would have Hervey on some of those duo things too. And so we play duo a lot. So we feel very comfortable. It almost feels like a reunion. And it's going to feel like two brothers coming together to make some music. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's what it's going to feel like. It's not going to feel so uptight, and we've known each other for a very long time. So it's going to feel very comfortable.
It sounds wonderful. And let me remind our listeners, Anthony Hervey and Sean Mason will perform music of Thelonious Monk and their originals at the Joe Henderson Lab in the SFJAZZ Center on Sunday, October 12th. Showtimes are 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are available now at sfjazz.org. And for more info on our guest music, please visit anthonyherveymusic.com and seanmason.net. Links to all the content of the show will be available in the podcast show notes. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. I'm really looking forward to your shows at the Joe Henderson Lab.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. See you there.
Thank you for tuning into the Backstage Bay Area podcast. Don't forget to visit us online at backstagebayarea.com for more insights and stories. Be sure to join us next time for more engaging conversations with local talent and touring musicians. Until then, Keep the music alive, and we'll see you backstage.